All right, well, I would say get rid of this first note.
Okay.
Um, or actually, because you kind of do like a. We can do
That
this
was
a
just
couple
my
ways.
intro to the lead, slowing
Gotcha.
it down a little bit on the first note.
So, because you're going into this triplet thing, so it sounds like what you want to do is like a.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. So that's definitely triplets you're thinking of. You can do it as eighth notes, which is not a bad idea because you might actually need to work it up like that. So, all right. So what I'm gonna do is I try and put the triplets first. So what if you hit? Again, I'm recording this. I recorded some of what we just were talking about a moment ago, and then I paused it to or stopped it when we were
Okay.
trying to figure out what's going on. But it's recording again right now, so I'm gonna talk out loud what I'm doing, so this way you can watch the things back and always have it as a reference. So
Okay.
what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to insert bars before everything. So I'm going to hold down Control and hit Insert. So holding down Control and hitting Insert allows you to enter more bars like previous to what you were. So if I wanted to add a bar before this one, like in between here and here, I go to
Yes.
the bar I want to have a bar come in before. So it's always going to insert before by holding
Okay.
hitting Control and Insert. So and then Control Z, what I just did there is to undo. So what's helpful to do like quick notation stuff to like change the subdivision. It's nice to have this panel open so you can see what's being selected up here. But if you hit the plus sign on the keyboard, watch what happens. See, if I hit the plus sign, it goes to the faster subdivision. If I hit
Okay.
minus sign, it goes to the slower one. So we're going to be starting with the eight note or eight note, the C note, the eighth fret there. So right now it's that whole note. So I hit plus. Now it's a half note. I hit plus again. Now it's a quarter note. Hit plus again. It's an eighth note. Then it goes to 16, 32nd, 64. And so you can just use the plus and minus sign to change how fast it goes.
Okay.
So instead of coming over here, clicking it, and then over and over again, just do that stuff. So we're going to do eighth note triplets. And if you ever, a lot of these things, it has like a hot key. So you can just use the keyboard to get it and not have to put the mouse back and forth. So here, that's where your triplet thing is. So it's when I'm holding or letting the mouse hover over that, it does show the hotkey. So sometimes you can see that. It's basically that forward slash. So on my keyboard, it's just to the right of the number lock button, right above the number 8. So if you hit that when you're on top of the note, you'll see that 3 come up there. So you know that it's triplet. And then you just
Okay.
start inputting things. So it's kind of like doing what I like to call 2-note coils, even though it's in a triplet thing, because it's like kind of bounces back and forth between a couple notes over and over again. Um,
See, this is more of what I was looking for because I've got one more after this one that I would like to go over with you.
Sure. And then maybe you'd want that to be up for 2. So the bends are funny because you can like make it look the way you want it to, or just make it sound the way you want it to. Trying to get it to do both, there's a lot of extra steps to take. But like, let's say you want that to ring out for, so this would ring out for 2 beats to fill up the bar, and maybe this will sound okay to you. Let's find out. And so I'm going to come down here and just hit that last note that you had. and then we can do that vibrato on that. You can hit V for vibrato.
Okay. Do you have to hit Control V?
Just V.
Just V. Okay.
Yep, just the letter V. If I did a Control V, well, that's paste. Yeah, Control V is paste. We don't want to do that. Well, one thing I am going to do right now is, this is like a way to quickly change how many bars you have per line or even the size of the bars. I'm going to hit Control, Alt, and the letter D. So not Control, Alt, Delete, but Control, Alt, the letter D. All these blue things popped up here. So I want this bar to come up to this line. So I'm going to click the plus sign here, because now that brings it up.
Okay.
So if you hit minus, it'll reduce the amount of bars you have up there. Plus will bring, if you have more bars down here, it'll bring it up there. And then like when you hover the mouse over these things, you can actually change the size of the stuff. And if you click that X, it'll just kind of adjust it for you to make it look fairly nice. So with that being said, and then always hit Control S. You make a change, Control S, because it'll save it.
Yes.
Will
do.
So yeah, put the cursor on the note you want to bend. You hit the letter B to bring up the bend. And this is like making it sound, you can adjust this so it sounds the way you want it to. So just basically like, how does this look? So right now, the bend is like going really slow up the course of that half note. So let's listen to this and you'll see what I mean. But if you want it to be faster, which I think you do, what we got to do is move this over here. So you can do it right away, but you're not going to hear a bend. So you might want to have it go out a little bit at least.
Okay.
See, it doesn't change the way this looks, which is wrong. It should go more straight up. But anyway, we're not going to worry about that, because if you programmed it and you hear it play back, then you'll be okay. So we don't need to get that advanced right now. So let's hear how this sounds.
That's exactly how I heard it.
There we go. And then the faster speed.
How'd you adjust that?
I changed the percentage thing up here. So I just
because I've been going on to the right below where it says standard tuning and it says 190.
Yep.
I highlight that and just change it.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes I can't get this thing to always pop up. So you want to click the tempo thing real fast. Just come up here.
Okay.
That always works. Sometimes
I know you were explaining that you could reduce it or increase it in percentages too. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, so sometimes that's the way to go, but
Okay.
Not always. So if you were to do it in eighth note, now working up in eighth notes, that might be a better choice anyway. So this way you can ease into it better. So let's do that. I'm gonna just delete all this. It's really just a matter of...
Can you keep the top half and then we'll put the bottom in the eighth notes?
That was the plan. Yes, sir.
What was that?
So that's the plan.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I should have known.
And actually, it might look better if I else say 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. I'm going to change this to a 3/4 time signature because you'll be able to see the pattern better, I think. So to do that, I want it to start at this bar. So I'm going to come up here, click on that, change it to 3/4, click OK there. So that's the pattern. So
now on your first bar, John, what are those called? Those are
up here?
16th notes or
8th note triplets.
They're 8th note triplets. Okay.
Yes. So yeah, right here that's the pattern. Now you can see that in here. So basically, every 2 beats in the triplets, that's the pattern happening. So you got that
Okay.
da, 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 dum, and then you play that on the next string. Da, 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 dum, and you play it on the next set of strings. Just kind of like this back and forth.
Yes.
And you play it in the next one. Anyway.
I already feel like a doofus enough, John.
Let's continue on. Da, da, dun, da, dun, dun, da, da, dun, da, da, dun, and then. And then, so we can just. And yeah, I've hit the asterisk button, that little star that dots it. So, if you hit the dot or the asterisk thing, it'll dot it. So this way, that's your keyboard shortcut there. So you don't have to come over here and hit the dot. You can just... Oh, you can also hit the period sign, apparently. Or the period button down here. I did not know that. My hotkeys always been the asterisk button. Anyway, either way. Alright, so we got that. And then we're going to hit B for bend once again. That's probably going to be fine how it's set up right now. And then we go over here. Oop. Put that in, hit V for vibrato. Why is there a double bar? I don't know. I'm getting rid of that though. Double bar line, I'm getting rid of that. And then, because I don't like the way that looks, I'm going to hit Control, Alt, letter D, and make those adjustments. So I might be able to get it all in one line here. Yeah, it looks okay. Alright, so now let's listen to it this way.
That's great.
There we go. So yeah, just pick whatever tempo you need. I would work this first because it's going to give you more time. So like you want to get more out of something like this, I would do, let's say, this is kind of like how I would break it down to build it up kind of thing.
Does your ebook explain that you were talking about? Does it explain this stuff?
It does not.
Oh, okay.
No, there's no how to write in Guitar Pro on that one. So if you do it like that, that might help because you're like working on little pieces of it at a time. And then you kind of, so basically like right here, this is that.
Okay.
So you just do a little bit. Oh, I did something wrong. And then, right, because it's got to start on that. And then, I would practice it without the bend first, just so you can get used to the pattern.
Okay.
So something like that would be good to work on. Even just like, start with just that one bar and then do 2 bars at a time and then do 3 bars at a time and so on.
Now, when you play something like this, when you're going back and forth, not just a... when you're going back, I can't even remember what it was now. Should you slant your pick on that one too, or is it stay straight and you go softer across, or is there a particular way that you should play something like this?
Make it sound good.
Just do whatever it works.
We'll go with that for the moment because
all right.
We definitely don't have enough time left to go into detail with that one.
Okay.
Or we would. But we can talk more about it next time for sure. But the main thing is, did it sound the way you want it to? If the answer is yes, you're golden.
All right. And then I had one more for you.
Yep. Send it on over.
Oh, was that?
Oh, you already sent it? No, yeah, go ahead, email that one too.
No, I don't. I haven't written this out because I
Oh.
didn't know how.
All right, go ahead and
I,
play it. Let's see what you got.
this is your. This is just your from early on where we were doing the scales,
Okay.
3 per string.
Mm-hmm.
So what I wanted to do was have them like 3 per string. And then back.
And how would it go back?
The
So let's do it like this. So do new. So we do that. I'm hitting Control and plus to zoom in here.
Okay. Because I was able to get the first one at least on paper, but this one I just had no clue.
So just going real simple there. We can get more detail later, but so right now I can see that it's quarter note. I can see the highlight of the quarter note rest. I can also see it over here. It's quarter note. So you just do.
Is that what that means, John?
Yep.
Okay.
So you're going to just like put in the notes. If you want to do like the G scale there, if you want to do key of G, I would also put in the time or the key signature, which you do over here. Change it to G. So right now it's got the eighth note triplets because if you're trying to do like play it up like that.
Yes.
That would be it. Oops. And then just, if that's what you want, going straight into, whoops, straight down. Dang it. So if you were to actually practice something that, like specifically that, I would still at least end with some other note, because ending with that, like right before the click, it's kind of weird.
It doesn't sound too musical, I guess.
Well, it's not a matter of not sounding musical. It's a matter of it's difficult to line up the ending with a obvious stop. So, I mean, you can just pick any note after that, but that's how it would look.
Yeah. If I can get half that, I'll be okay.
As far as working on something like this, you actually have access to something like that. Let me find it real quick. Actually, I'll go ahead and stop the recording since I think that covered it all.